Hello, and I'm presenting myself not as a professor here, I'm a researcher. So I'm trying to present my research on multigrade teaching. That is my pet area of research, and I have been doing this for a long time, for about 15 years, and this presentation is on Sri Lanka, my country, so it's purely on research, and it's not it's an independent kind of inquiry into the multigrade situation in Sri Lanka. So I have, you would notice that I have just deviated from the main topic a little bit, multigrade teaching and multi-level teaching, MGML. So I have included the concept of multigrade and multi-level teaching into the presentation. I will highlight to you what multi-level teaching is also about. And then the innovations based on many of my research mainly, and the problems that I have faced in the scaling up process. And so for those of you, I know all of you know what multigrade teaching is. Just, teaching to more than one grade group at a given timetable period is multigrade teaching. And in Sri Lanka, we have multigrade teaching in small schools, in rural areas. And multigrade teaching, we call it a hidden thing in Sri Lanka. It's not in the mainstream. So in Sri Lanka, we have a large number of government schools. The majority of the schools are government schools, and urban, semi-urban, and rural schools are there. And about 11% of the rural schools in Sri Lanka, they don't have 5 teachers. So when you don't have 5 teachers, then you are into a multigrade, teaching situation. And so therefore, what is the reason for all this? So there are many reasons for not having 5 teachers for the 5 grades of the primary school, because there are cost issues. So to have 5 teachers for a school with 30 children or 40 children is going to be very expensive. But at the same time, in Sri Lanka, we have a large number of teachers. We have even a teacher excess as well. But then there are issues of teacher deployment, where you can't transfer the teachers, and even if you transfer the teachers to a remote school, they would try their level best to come back to the city in no time. So the problems of teaching, learning in rural schools, small schools, is a great problem in Sri Lanka. And the multigrade situation in the world is, a little different. In some parts of the world, multigrade teaching is an accepted pedagogy, right? It's accepted in the mainstream also. It's by choice. But in Sri Lanka, it's out of necessity. The teachers in small schools would adopt multigrade teaching. So they don't have much support from the state, from the curriculum development. And so therefore, we have a big issue of quality in these teaching and learning situations in multigrade settings. So that is one reason that I have embarked on this research area to carry out the multigrade teaching quality improvement in teaching and learning. So my research is mainly based on the methodology of action research, where I work with the teachers to develop classroom-based innovations in the small schools. So this is a picture of a small school. So these children who are sitting here, they're of one grade. There's a rack in between, and there are few students on the other side also. So they will be like in grade 2 and grade 3. And this is another, estate school. There's a tea plantation school in Sri Lanka, in hill country. So there are, so many. You can see the boards, blackboards, denoting that, the grade groups are divided, into with the blackboards, you can see. and they are all in the same place, so that the one teacher in that school can, look after the entire grade range of grades, and the teacher is not to be seen even. So there's, she's just, somewhere with one grade group. So how to handle more than one grade at a time is a problem faced by teachers in Sri Lanka. So my research work adopted a methodology to study the curriculum and reorganize the curriculum into a feasible manner where they could find the common areas to handle at a particular timetable period. And then I tried to reorganize the entire topics and the objectives that are laid out in the primary curriculum for each and every topic across the 5 grades. So for mathematics, we have, I've just given you a few concepts that we are dealing with. So you can see the concepts and the grade groups that these concepts are handled. So you can see that these concepts are recurring in each grade, with each grade group. So there's a possibility that we can do amalgamation, a combination of objectives to implement a single lesson for a combined class. So lesson planning I've done with the teachers, negotiated with them with greatest difficulty. They would say, no, we don't need this because we will get a teacher next time. Next month we are going to get a teacher. So next month you go to that same school, and then you look at the situation. They say, okay, the teacher that I spoke may not be there. And then that teacher had got, transferred to another school, and another teacher is there. And the teachers who come on transfer would, be there for 1 week or so and then try to get there. But the people who are stuck there, who cannot get a transfer back, would be there for a long time. So the lesson planning, I had difficulties in working with a group of teachers to work with them consistently over a period of time in my action research. So I was trying to do it with 4 basic steps. So the lesson plan would have a common introduction to the topic, and then I sort of worked with them to develop sequential, grade level sort of a narrative, an exercise, assignments to the respective, to suit the respective higher grades. So if you say you amalgamate grade 2 and 3, and then do addition, and then you are sort of making an introduction on addition, and then you start to sort of work with the single grade groups, gradually deviating from the common introduction. And then we developed a large number of assignments so that the teachers could use in the respective grade levels. So conclude the work by giving the individual grade groups and then supervising them while another grade group is working with their own assignments. So this is a large, a kind of it's a lesson plan. We can get into that later on when we have questions. Grade 4 and 5, topic addition, the objectives for each grade is there. Then step 1, the whole class, introduction, lesson development with differentiating grade levels, then setting different grade level assignments, and then the conclusion is there. We can go through with it later on. So this multi-grade teacher, a gentleman of in his early 30s, he told me that he was in this school for a long time, and then he's faced with problems of finding a partner because he is isolated in the hill country, and there is hardly any chance for him to find a partner to get married, and also to pursue with his higher studies. He was finding it challenging, but he was a committed teacher, and I saw the teacher being a father to these children who are sort of accessing the school in their own village. If they did not have this school in their village, they may not be in the school. they will not have the, they will not be walking to another school beyond 3 kilometers. So in the hills, in the isolation, they will not go. So the accessibility, retaining these small schools is a big thing. So we want to retain these schools, and these small schools are getting closed very, very fast. So there are lots of, debate issues, talking about the cost issues and so on. So the sustainability of, these small schools will have to be, really, really worked up, in a very intelligent manner in a country. So these, see the little children, how they help, with their own, peers. So the older child is helping the younger child who is in a younger, of a lower grade. So in Sri Lanka, the monograde, the grade groups are very rigid. So the child would like to say that I'm in grade 2, I'm in grade 3. I mean, they would not say that I'm in, a multi-grade class or something. So they have to, have a particular grade affiliated to their level, age level. So I have developed a few distance training modules as well, and I've sort of developed it with the experience that I have got with the working with the teachers, and they are online. And then the issue of multi-level teaching has come up with the multi-grade, because multi-level teaching is also something that we need to handle, because multi-level teaching is everywhere. Because addressing each child's need in a large class, in a monograde class, is multi-level teaching. So to keep the children in school, not to let them get pushed out of school, not only multi-grade teaching, but multi-level teaching is of utmost importance, so that, the children can be, learning at their own pace. They can be, addressing their own learning needs. So there are the issues of, developing a lot of material on that. So there are learning cards, learning ladders, which they can progress their learning with a teacher, but within their grade level, but on a progression of their own. So that is called multi-level teaching. And so from teacher talk, there is a lot of, chalk and talk method going on in Sri Lanka. So a lot of, teachers are adopting the method, although activity-based learning is, encouraged. So active learning methodologies will have to be adopted in multi-level teaching. So multi-level self-learning work cards were also developed by myself with a large number of teachers and another group of research with Professor Angela Little. And then these work cards also have different levels, say subtracting number from number less than 9. So you have that particular competency, broken down into sub-levels. And for each sub-level, you have a work card, so that, children can take their work cards and work on their own to get their, competency attained at a particular, at their own pace. So challenges of scaling up these MGML research innovations, because, curriculum reorganization and teacher education needs are very high. We have to do something, in the mainstream. We have to work with the curriculum developers. I've tried hard, and it is working, it is working, but with very slow, because the monograde culture, deeply rooted monograde culture is engulfing the needs of the multigrade and the multi-level situations. And there is always the lack of trust in an alternative approach. So the change management, we had some, workshops also somewhere. In India, I recently attended the MGML conference in India. So the change management, yes, I was admitting that, I have to go through a different pathway to convince the policymaker, convince the teacher educator and the curriculum developer mainly, because they too understand, but there is some kind of an inhibition where, to get away from the monograde massive monograde culture is a problem. And the lack of political will is another problem, because you see, each time a government is, looking for votes, they will say, we'll provide you teachers. So we'll give you teachers, vote for us. So that is going to be a big problem, and it has gone on for so many years. And then the teaching and learning in small schools are challenged with, lack of teachers. So this is the entire school. So you can see the different levels of students, so age levels of students. So they are in different grades. So their number is small, and there is only one teacher. So she has to handle the monograde curriculum adapted by her own self, and then work through the children for their own, development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Manjula.